S Passion TV, your favorites.
Hello dear viewers, I welcome to this show, My School Story, on S Passion TV every Thursday at 7 p.m. My School Story, we always host someone anywhere in Uganda who has inspired students, who has groomed students, and we want them to share us their story right from nursery up to when they finished school. And maybe in one way or the other, a student out there will be inspired to do something in line of not going out of school or being demotivated or giving up in school. So right with me here, I have a man who has taught for 30 years. He started teaching in Kitante and he's currently teaching at Makai. He has groomed a number of students. Some of them are known in the country. I think our great politicians can testify this. And right before me, allow me welcome Mr. Sairo. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm very privileged to be around. I'm very happy to be here. It's the first interview of this kind I'm engaged in, so it's a landmark.
I would like you to give some brief introduction to our dear viewers, so who is ever down there who doesn't know Mr. Sairo, at least can get some hint about you.
I'm called Sairo Sulaiman. There is a third name which is more important than those two. I'm called Salim because my mom told me when I grew up that my grandfather came when he heard that I had been born. He traveled from wherever I was and he came and he said, now this one here you have just produced is me. And he was called Salim. So, and it's a name very few people know about. I think now people get to know that I'm called Sairo Sulaiman Salim.
Well, that is nice. So we are with Mr. Sairo, the man who has taught mathematics and physics in different schools. The man who is, I think, supposed to be called mathematics, because most of you know him with mathematics. So, Mr. Sairo, we would like to know your school journey right away from nursery up to when you finish school, so that a student out there can be inspired with your journey, because you have groomed a number of students in different schools for these 30 years, and I think most of them are big people in the country. I think you will mention for us some of them in the coming time. So tell us your journey. How was your nursery?
During our time, that was, I started studying around 1970. There were no nurseries. In my village, I come from the east of the country, a place called Butebo. It was formerly a county in Palisa district. Palisa district itself a county in a former Tororo district, or Boked district for that matter. But now we have a new district called Butebo, and I come from Butebo district today. Our MP, who is well known to most people here, died. Was the Minister of Disaster Preparedness, was called Doctor, the name was gone. Do you remember the Doctor Minister of Preparedness who died some time back?
I think our dear viewers can relate.
Yes, I will I will remember and I will tell them. I come from that place. I started studying in early 1970s, and we did not go to nursery. Up to now, I don't know any nursery in our place. For us, we would grow up. For me, because I was named after my grandfather, my aunties, when I became of age about 4, they took me and they said, we want our father, their father, who was my grandfather, had died before I started school. And when I became of age, they took me to where they were married in Busoga, a place called Enanga. Because they wanted to feel that their father was still alive. Everyone was fighting to have me in their places to grow, so that they helped me to grow. And I left my auntie's place when I was about 6. So I started P1 when I was 7. We never went to nursery schools.
Which school was that in P1?
It's called Kodiri Primary School.
Is it still in existence?
Yes.
At those ends of Busoga?
No, it's not Busoga. It is Butebo. It is in Butebo. If you have ever been to Mbale, after Tirinyi, you enter the Bugwere land. There is a place called Budaka. Then after that, if instead of going to Mbale, you branch off and you go into a place called Bulangera, then Butebo. That is the area of the people called the Bugwere. That's where I come from. Yes.
So tell us then, after dodging nursery,
yes,
how was your primary, right from primary 1 up to P7?
By the age of 7, I was already determined. I was already interested in school because some more affluent families in our area had their children studying from some good schools outside our area. And they were much younger than we were, and they were talking English. We were just talking vernacular. So we wanted also to be part of the story. So when I was told I was going to school, I didn't sleep that day. From the word go, I've never dodged class.
That was when you're going to P1?
P1. And I've never dodged class, except one. I will come to that story. One day, I went to, I was there for my first year, 1970. I completed school, but around in the middle, I got an accident.
In primary?
Yes, P1.
P1, you stayed in P1?
P1. I was already riding a bicycle, but riding through, not on the other top, but you know, when you pass your leg,
legs inside there, like a triangle thing.
And then you are riding with this one on the saddle.
Yeah.
I got an accident, and actually there is a scar here. I got an accident, a bad one.
Did you do it intentionally?
No, I just fell.
Oh.
And it was a Madam road, and the Madam completely destroyed this portion of my leg. There is still a big patch here, but it healed long ago. I never stopped going to school. The funny thing about it is that when the thing went, it really hurt me. And I could not unfold my leg. So I would go to school on my bums. The good thing was not, I was just crawling on my bums like this. Do you want me to show you?
No. How long was it from your home to school?
It was about 2 kilometers. My mom did everything to stop me from going to school until this hills, but I would escape and pass through the bush, crawling up to school.
So you were a smart student who always wanted to be in class?
I liked school so much. So after that, after P1, I left that school. I went to another one near the headquarters, our county headquarters. That school is called Butebo. In Butebo, it is called Kalalak Muslim Primary School. That's where I was from P2 up to P7. Yes. P7, I was in P7 in 79, I think.
In the middle there, right from primary up to maybe up to P7, how was your performance in class? Were you among the competitors? Did you have someone you feel?
In S2, in P2, I was very good at English. Extremely good.
Because you came when you didn't know.
Yes, I wanted to learn English, and I excelled in it. I went to P3. I was still good at English. Mathematics was not in the picture. And I came to P4, and something happened. Our teacher then is dead. I don't want to mention his name. Had issues with my father. My father was the chairman of the management committee in that school, in that time of the school. Now the gentleman used to be used to take beer, and sometimes would mess himself up. The other one being a Muslim school, the Muslim community didn't like it. So he came on. In most management meetings, it was a topic. So when that gentleman realized I was in his class, that was in P4, was doing very well in English, and I would get 80s to 100. The mathematics was not in the picture. So third term of that year, I've lost count of those years, really, specific years where I was in which class. But the third term, something happened, and I've never forgotten. I've just forgiven the gentleman because he's now the late. In third term, he used to have, he used to stay in the staff quarters, and he had some cows later around. So after our English exam in third term, the following week we went back for our results, and when he came, he brought back the scripts. 3 of our scripts were missing, my colleagues and me.